Well, so good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, world. Good morning, universe. Good morning to all the many different energies that exist out there, whether they be atoms, molecules, quantum particles, whatever. Good morning to all forms of life. So I've decided that I've wanted to start my own channel. At least I wanted to start this particular part of my channel as a means to basically just, explain my story as it is right now, my life story, and describe, what's going on in my life by basically combining the mundane with, the esoteric and spiritual. And, so I'm going to be using a synthesis of different subjects and explain some techniques and rituals that I've learned, to help me as far as, how I go about just, working through my day-to-day life, and just trying to really see myself in the most authentic and most real person that I can be. So starting out, so I've been living on my own now for about almost 4 months, which feels really good. And, it's wonderful to have a real sense of autonomy in my life, and now it's like, I've finally gotten past that stage of, being codependent or blindly codependent on family figures, who have now, left this very old and out-of-date program that I need to change. And, I've been doing so in a very, very creative manner. I've utilized the chakra system, I've utilized astrology, I've utilized the new Hermetic system, which is basically just a series of different meditations for reprogramming the mind, and basically am learning to get in touch with the more subjective side of life, which is basically another way of saying, the inner part of my life. And so, I've really been, getting into Tantra quite a bit, in addition to having explored somatic experiencing therapy, because being a Taurus sun, Aries moon, Virgo ascendant, it's like I have that very, very earthy fire combination right there, that, I've been working on balancing, particularly, the earthy part of my personality, because I feel that, as somebody who has struggled with codependence his whole life, not having a very, very solid family system, it's like I've had to rely on my own inner life, to really, really get in touch with, my emotions, and really, really learn to value my emotions, to not be afraid of them, to not be afraid of feeling. I mean, definitely, that definitely goes a long way to explain my moon in my 8th house, because, and especially with it being in Aries, because I've had a difficulty, just expressing, healthy aggression, which is basically necessary for survival. Especially because, I grew up with a mom that had a number of chronic illnesses and who died 10 years ago at the age of 56, which is very young. So I've been working with those 8th house issues, and finding a way now to explore, my 9th house sun in Taurus, through Tantra and through somatic experiencing, different ways of exploring the sensual world, exploring, ways of, really, really exploring the pleasures of the flesh and finding enjoyment in them, just like really, really, feeling alive and feeling beautiful as a human being, and not just, because see, the thing that I've found with a lot of the spiritual types and the whole New Age community at large is that they focus on this very ascending sort of manner of existence, which is fine. I believe, in raising your vibration to a higher frequency, especially, in focusing on, the Kundalini, and focusing on that upward rising through the chakra system. But, I still believe just as much in a descending evolutionary manner of spiritual life. That, what you take from above, you also bring below. And I believe that my life needs to be a merging of those two planes of existence. So that's how I'm going to start out this YouTube podcast. I already have my dance channel, so now I'm going to do this channel, this part of my channel, and dedicate it to my spiritual and esoteric interests, because I've been encouraged to do that by at least 2 people in this last year, 2018. So I want to make this a moment of joy and inspiration for other people, so that they can really, really hear, what I've gone through in my life, and, build a community that way, because, I'm pretty much a loner at heart, and, I don't want to be that way anymore. As much as I value my inner life and as much as I value solitude, I want that warmth and that companionship of other like minds that we can keep communicating back and forth with. So yeah, I'm Lotus Globe, and I will follow up later.